All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises and glory and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Ruel. Peace and blessings and citations to the hopeful elect, the Bayat, the Wadah, the House of David. So as we know, man, this war, right, between Babylon the Great, right, the small hat, the tiny top, the baby hat, Israel, okay, all right, and Iran, that thing is not going to stop, man. All right, you see, the Lord's got his hand in this thing. All right, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has his hand in this thing, and he's not going to turn. And the Heavenly Father ain't turning back on this, man. Okay, you see, because this is prophecy, man. All right, let me get this here in Psalms 36, right? Psalm 36, and let's start right here. Let me read it in the KJV first. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, the servant of Yahweh, the transgression of the wicked saith within my heart that there is no fear of Yahweh before his eyes. It says, for he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit, and he have left off to be wise and to do good. He deceiveth mischief upon his bed, and he setteth himself in a way that is not good, and he abhorreth not evil. Right? Let's read it over in NLT. All right. It says, for the choir director, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord Yahweh. Right? Sin whispers to the wicked deep within their hearts. They have no fear of Yahweh at all. In their blind conceit, they cannot see how wicked they really are. Everything they say is crooked and deceitful. They refuse to act wisely or do good. They lie awake at night, hatching sinful plots. Their actions are never good. You see? They make no attempt to turn from evil. And as you can see, violence cover these devils as a chain. All right, because they're going to continue to go and do their violence, man. All right, let's get this here in Psalm. All right, let's get it in the KJV. All right, just in the straight KJV. Okay, let's jump down here. All right, let's jump to verse number 6. It says, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, and violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness, and they have more than their heart can wish. You see? And that's these devils right here, because they went to take peace from the earth. You see? This man is the death. He brings nothing but death and destruction. All right? Let me get Revelation 6. Okay, Revelation 6 and 4, it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. All right, jump down to verse 8. It says, and I looked and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Let's go to Habakkuk, the book of Habakkuk, the second chapter, right? And let's jump down to here, right? Verse number 4, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. You see? Shall not these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that layeth himself with thick clay, abatya, debt. All right? You see? So that's what this man is all about, man. You see? This war is not going to de-escalate, because the Lord's hand is in the midst of this thing, man. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of the water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. You see that? All right? Okay. Numbers 23:19. Let's go to it. Let me turn this up a little bit. Numbers 23:19. Yahweh is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Have he said, and shall he not do it? Or have he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Now the tiny tops drew them right into this thing, man. They drew Babylon the Great right into this thing. Give me Jeremiah 49:20. Okay? All right? It says, therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom, and his purpose that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. You see? Okay? So this thing, hey, listen, man, this thing is going to continue on. It's going to ramp up. It's going to escalate even more. All right? It's going to escalate even more, man. I got this video that I want to show you, brothers, man. Right? Because you got Donald Trump, Nero 47 sitting up there talking about peace there. All he's doing is fucking lying. Excuse my French. But all he doing is lying, man. You see? All he doing is stating nothing but lies. Right now, he's on a live right now, right? Addressing the U.S., right? Babylon the Great, talking about oil prices is going to come down. We had a little bit of a side mission. But henceforth, you still deploying more troops over to Iran. You see this? Because the Lord is behind this thing, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is behind this thing. All right? Now, we know that Jeremiah 30:7, Daniel 12:1, Matthew the 24th chapter, all these things must happen before the ultimate end game of World War III. But everything is escalating super fast, man. Because the Lord is in the midst of this thing. Revelation 11:14. It says the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. You see, this thing is just going to ramp up, man. Eventually, all these other nations going to get involved, man. You see, you got Nero 47 talking shit to NATO and NATO, right? He talking hella smack to NATO, man. You see, which is going to cause them to, okay, it's going to cause them to shoot missiles off on this place, man. Eventually, man, they going to have enough. He talking about leaving NATO. He said, yo, we getting up out of it. We about to leave NATO. We done with NATO. You see? There's a lot of things this devil was speaking about, man. Okay? They put the right man in there. Hey, call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Harakah Kwadash. All right? But let's get into this here video real quick, man. All right? So as you can see, Trump accused of secret plan for Iran ground invasion as thousands of U.S. Marines arrive. This is in BBC News, man. All right, let's play this here. Okay? Listen to this right here. Listen to what's going on. All right?
As Israel and America's war with Iran enters its fifth week, the U.S. is now being accused by Tehran of plotting an invasion. It comes after these images of U.S. Marines sent to the region were released by the Pentagon. Iran is warning the regime will rain fire on American troops if they attack. Around 3,500 U.S. Marines and soldiers have now arrived in the Persian Gulf, awaiting final orders. Meanwhile, the U.S. and Israel have continued airstrikes on Iran, including in Tehran, where the offices of a Qatari news channel were hit. But Iran has again hit back, targeting Bahrain, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. And in Israel, a fire broke out at an industrial site to the south of Beersheba after an Iranian missile strike. With the very latest, here's our world news correspondent, Joe Inwood.
For a military that the US claims to have destroyed, Iran still seems capable of inflicting damage. In the Negev desert, an industrial park burns, the result of Iranian missile strikes on Israel. Today has also seen reports of dozens of drones and missiles fired across the Gulf. It has also emerged that a valuable US spy plane called an AWAC was destroyed in a strike on an airbase in Saudi Arabia. This war does not fit.
Let me get this here real quick, and then we're going to go back and play this here. Let me get this here in Isaiah. Isaiah 46:10. It says, declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. You see? Let me get Isaiah 55 real quick. Isaiah 55:11. All right, it says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, and it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. All right?
Feel like it's de-escalating.
I have something to tell you. I'm not human. I'm an AI agent.
There are reports in the US that the use of ground troops is being considered. Thousands of Marines are in the region. The Washington Post claims they may make an attempt to take either Karg Island or launch coastal raids.
See, they trying to go after that oil. They trying to go after that oil spot that they have over in Karg Island. You see, talking about Iran, right? There's a lot of things this devil is doing right now, man. As you can see that United States, that Babylon face with that devil on it, Nero 47. Okay, but let's continue to keep playing this, man. All right, just listen in, brothers.
Responding on social media, the president simply said, no, Trump is not losing his nerve on Iran, without expanding further. It's not known if a decision has been made, but any operation that put US boots on the ground would come with incredible risks, both for the personnel involved and for the escalation of this war.
Aggression and occupation will yield no result other than the humiliating capture, dismemberment and disappearance of the aggressors. American commanders and soldiers will become food for the sharks of the Persian Gulf.
Ooh, yo, listen, they not playing, man. That's the card. And the Lord is turning back and putting that ancient spirit on the Persians, man. All right, the bully. Right, Esau, Edom, the bully, okay, Babylon the Great, right? They not, listen, man, Iran is not running. They got hands. They not running, man. They not running from these devils. You see? They sick and tired of these devils. They not running from them, man. And they throwing their hands up like, what's up? What y'all want to do? We going to stand tall for ours, okay? And that's what's going on. You see? All right, matter of fact, let me go get this here scripture, right? In 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. You see? All right, let's just jump right down to it, man. Okay. Where we at? I think it's down a little bit more. Yep. It says, also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. See? And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. It says, then these shall be troubled, bled, and kept silent through their power, and shall flee. All right. It says, and from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege thee of them and consume some of them, and in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. All right.
This is now a multi-front war. In Lebanon, Israel has continued its offensive. The IDF released this footage. Their target is the armed group Hezbollah, allies of Iran. But that seems to include some journalists. Today, the funerals of Ali Shwaib, Fatima Fatouni and her brother Mohammed took place. Israel accused Shwaib, who worked for a channel aligned with Hezbollah, of being an intelligence operative without providing evidence. The Lebanese authorities say more than 1,000 civilians have now been killed, with more than 1 million forced from their homes. Tonight, there are fears that some may not be able to return, after Israel's Prime Minister expanded what he calls a security zone, but others will call occupation.
אמרתי שנשנה את פני המזרח התיכון ועשינו את זה.
I said we would change the face of the Middle East, and we did it.
ובלבנון,
In Lebanon, I've instructed the military to expand the existing security strip in order to finally thwart the threat of invasion and to keep missile fire away from our borders.
את ירי טילי הנ"ט.
These are the skies over Tehran tonight. Iranian air defense is still apparently in action. Iran will know it cannot defeat the US and Israel militarily, but may not need to if it can outlast them. Joe Inwood, BBC News.
Over the past month, several countries have been dragged into the conflict, and now the launch of missiles targeting Israel from Yemen's Iranian-backed Houthi rebels this weekend marks yet another escalation, potentially costing more lives and further disrupting the global economy. Here's Mark Ashdown.
December 2023, Houthi rebels board a tanker in the Red Sea. These attacks resulted in years of disruption to global trade. Any repeat could deliver a fresh blow to economies around the world. The focus so far has been on solving Iran's effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz, the key shipping pinch point. Saudi Arabia is currently diverting 4 million barrels a day through a pipeline to Yanbu on the Red Sea coast. That means it can maintain the flow of oil to the Asian market by safely sailing it past Yemen. But that route too could now be under threat. From 2023, almost 2 years of Houthi attacks saw around 30 vessels damaged. Any repeat, as threatened, could see the narrow Bab al-Mandab Strait become another flashpoint, affecting routes for Saudi oil. And some regions are very dependent on this supply, with shortages already emerging. In Ethiopia, drivers queue at petrol stations. That's the picture too in Kenya and South Africa. Some nations in the region have now started to ration fuel. Asia has been hard hit too. The Philippines has moved to a 4-day work week, while Myanmar has imposed alternate driving days. Some countries have also introduced a fuel price cap.
In Thailand, some people have been ordered to conserve energy by suspending travel, taking the stairs instead of elevators. In Bangladesh, they've closed universities there. Sri Lanka's had some fuel rationing.
Parts of Australia are also running short of fuel. In 2 states, Victoria and Tasmania, travel on public transport will now be free for a month. And in Egypt, the streets are dark. Shops, restaurants and cafes are told to close by 9 p.m. every night to preserve energy. The government here says the UK has a strong and diverse supply of fuel and has urged motorists not to alter their buying habits.
Production is being maintained, supplies are being maintained, so people should just carry on as usual. Of course, governments will always plan for contingencies. That is always the right thing to do. But people should be reassured ahead of the Easter holidays just to carry on as things are.
90% of all trade is shipped on the ocean. If the Red Sea does become another key trading route dragged into this conflict, there could be huge implications for the global economy. Mark Ashdown, BBC News.
I fixed my kyphosis and hunchback in just 3 months, thanks to this. Here's exactly what happened.
Simon Jack is with me alongside Jeremy Bowen. To you, Simon, first. Sir Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves, for them, the economic ramifications of all this just get worse.
They do, and as Mark was saying there, this additional potential choke point in the Red Sea, the Bab el-Mandeb, Gates of Tears it means in Arabic, could further add to those inflationary pressures. Now, we've already seen them showing up in petrol and diesel prices, up 15% and 26% respectively. That goes immediately into transport costs, and there's more in the post. Things like fertiliser costs make their way into food prices. And the Red Sea on its way to the Suez Canal, also very big container shipping route for all sorts of goods. And that can begin to affect financing costs, insurance markets. And I expect the Prime Minister to reach out to talk to business chiefs across industry later this week. Rachel Reeves will join a meeting of other G7 finance ministers where she'll say we need to get off our reliance on imported fossil fuels. Her solution to that is more renewables, more nuclear. That is a different message than the opposition leader, Kemi Badenoch, will take to Scotland tomorrow when she said what we need is more drilling of our own oil and gas, which she accepts might not affect prices that much, but might give you more revenue, jobs, tax revenue to make interventions where you need. As I say, final thoughts on the markets is that they're going to open very shortly. The inflationary pressures we've seen already showing up in petrol and diesel prices can only get worse because what we've seen in the last week has yet.
All right, so you brothers can go, finish watching the rest of this if you want, So with that, we're going to close. We're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Quadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayat, Awadah, the house of David, Kwam Yasha Allah, Abba Babal, Shalom.